happens. And again, by the way, this is all happening at a level that cannot be seen with the naked eye. And then we brought forth the human being, and it took this form of the human being. So the Quran is describing 1,400 years ago information that we have only discovered in the last 80, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. Where does information like that come from? Well, isn't that the sort of ID? Isn't that the ID you would expect in a book that is from God? Isn't that the sort of person, truthful and honest and trustworthy, whose word is believed, who shows in his life his truthfulness, his trustworthy and his honesty? And there is many remarkable things about the Quran. Another remarkable thing is the language of the Quran. The Arabs at the time of the Prophet Muhammad were masters of their language. Masters of their language. In fact, they had a marketplace for poetry. They had a marketplace for poems. Yet the Quran challenged these people. If you believe that this book is from anyone other than God, than the Creator, just make one chapter like it. One chapter. You know how big the smallest chapter of the Quran is? 3 lines. 3 lines. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar. Inna shaniyaka huwal abtar. That's the smallest chapter of the Quran. Yet these masters, these people who could stand up and recite poems from the top of their head for hours, they could not produce, and they admitted it, they were totally unable to bring anything like the Quran. Because the Quran was not like anything the Arabs had, it wasn't poetry. They know what's poetry, and it wasn't poetry. It wasn't normal speech. It wasn't rhymed prose. It wasn't anything that they had experienced before. Yet, they were Arabic words. The language, they understood it. They understood the words, yet they could not make anything like it. They knew when they heard this, that this could not be the product of a human being. And there's another thing, a really truly extraordinary thing. And I know a lot of Muslims, you don't think much of this. But it is truly remarkable that this book, the Quran, you can go anywhere in the world. You can go anywhere in the world. Here in Norway, you can go to Timbuktu, you can go to South Africa, you can go to Malaysia, you can go to China, you can go to Siberia, you can go to the US of A, you can go to Chile, and you can find a Quran from all of those different places. In fact, you know what? You can go back 100, 200, 500, 600, you can go back 1,000, 300, 400 years. In fact, we can find manuscripts dated from very, very soon after the death of the Prophet Muhammad. And you can compare them with the Quran that we have today. And you know what? You will not find a difference between them in a single letter. There is only one Quran. Yes, the style of writing, the font, if you like, has changed. There have been the vowel marks to help people who are not Arab pronounce the Quran correctly. But the words, the actual words, the same. A book that has not changed for 1,400 years. And another amazing thing. There are kids as young as 4 years old, and many of the age of 7, and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Muslims living today and throughout the whole of our history who have memorized this entire book. From cover to cover, have memorized it and can recite it from memory. How is that possible? How is that possible? These are the signs. These are the indicators. These are the things that could lead a reasonable, rational, thinking person to look at the Prophet Muhammad, to look at his life, to look at the Quran, and to conclude and to understand that this must really be what it claims to be, the true religion of God. Having said that, what does the religion of Islam teach? It teaches you what? To speak the truth and not lie. To keep your promises and don't break them. When someone trusts you with something, you keep the trust. Be good to your neighbors. Obey your parents and treat them respectfully. Look after the poor and the weak and the needy. Enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong. Live chaste, moral, decent lives. That you should pray to God 5 times a day at regular times. You should discipline yourself spiritually. Train your mind to be aware of God. Train your consciousness through prayer, through charity to cure you of stinginess, and through fasting. Not eating and drinking in the month of Ramadan from dawn until sunset. Because if you can control your appetites, you can control your eating, your drinking, it proves you can control yourself. You have self-control. You learn patience. And that once in your lifetime, if you can afford it, you should make pilgrimage to Mecca, where you will stand with people of every race, of every color, of every creed. And it doesn't matter whether you're a king, you're a millionaire, whether you're famous or not, whether people think you're beautiful or not. None of that matters, because you're just wearing 2 pieces of cloth. Because God does not look to your outward appearance. God does not look to what car you are driving. God does not look to what house you live in. God does not look to whether you have designer clothes or not. God is looking in your heart to see whether you are sincere, whether you are a person who loves Him and worships Him, whether you are a truthful and honest person or not. That is what is important to God. And that is what you know at Hajj. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white, Arab or non-Arab. It makes no difference to God. What is important to God is your piety. Do you fear Him? Do you love Him? Do you obey Him? Have you surrendered yourself and followed the guidance that He has sent down with His final messenger Muhammad? May God's peace and blessings be upon him. These are the ways and the means through which a person who thinks, the person who ponders, the person who reflects can know that Islam truly is the religion that has been revealed by God for the guidance of all of humanity. My brothers and sisters, may Allah guide you, may Allah guide me, all of us, upon the path of truth. May Allah bless all of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.